the Smith Wesson M&P Shield 9mm. Safety check for safety studies. Nothing in the mag. Nothing in the chamber. Spare mag is also empty. Now, right off the bat, why did Smith & Wesson come out with this? Well, the obvious, of course, response would be, well, they had to compete with everybody else that was making single stack 9mm of this size. Be it Kel-Tec PF9, Car CM9 or CW9, Bursa, ultra compact, blah, 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 blah. Everybody's got one nowadays, so why not the whole Me Too thing? Well, it seems kind of redundant in a way, being that Smith & Wesson already had the M&P 9 compact, this one here, which is dimensionally almost identical, especially if you use the single stack magazine. Of course, unloaded, okay. But comparing same to same here, as far as the dimensions overall, it's darn near identical. We're talking same height, pretty much the same length. The 9 compact is just not even a full ½ inch, I don't believe, longer in barrel otherwise. And then the obvious difference is the thickness. In terms of weight, really there is very little difference between the two. This is 21 ounces, I believe. This is pretty close to 23, I want to say. But they're very, very close in weight. So why would you want to spend the money on this? I mean, unless the only thing you're buying it for is the width. Well, one thing I'll show you right here, the trigger pull. Now, supposedly Smith & Wesson is going to be converting all of their M&P line to the trigger that they have in this, which is to say it is a little lighter, much more crisp, and it has a short, very tactile reset. Now, again, just to show, unloaded. The trigger pull on here, as you see, not that long, and when you reset, right there, it's not that long, but you can feel it, you can hear it. See? Now, just to show the old style here, this is an M&P 45 full size, unloaded, of course. That's in the chamber. But the reset on this, longer, well, first of all, the trigger pull is squishy, got a lot of take up here, see all this? And then when you actually brake, it's a little heavier, and then the reset, can't hardly hear it or feel it. See, I thought I was reset there, so there. Now let's try again. So there's almost like a two-stage click-click, and it's really soft and squishy. You click, listen closely. Hear that 2 clicks? It's weird. The newer style one, again, the Shield. That's it. Single click, real definite, and it's hardly any pre-travel. It's just right there. Brakes real clean. So, right off the bat, trigger, awesome, good. Another thing is, again, the width is a big issue for some people. Now, I won't really call this a pocket pistol per se, because the only pockets I can put this into would be like the back pocket of one pair of jeans that I have. And even then, it's just right in line with the top of this right here. So, not really a very good deal. That's without a holster. If you put a holster on it, forget it. It's not happening. Front pocket, yeah, you can probably fit it in there, but it's kind of heavy for what it is, especially when you have it loaded. So, I don't know, between the dimensions, the weight, and everything, not really a pocket carry pistol. But inside the waistband, very, very nice carry. Again, weight, not that different between the compact M&P and the Shield, so weight's not an issue, but width, very few occasions will I'll say it'll make a huge amount of difference, but this one here, as you can see, is a pretty good sizable amount. This is about right at 1 inch, and this is about 1.25 inches. You got about a 1/4 inch difference between the two, especially when you consider the manual safety on this model here, which I normally carry off, but I just put it back on for this video. But difference in thickness there is mainly going to be felt if you're putting this on your hip inside the waistband. Now outside the waistband, not a difference. Between this and this, they conceal just as well, carry just as easily. But inside the waistband, especially if you're one of those people that doesn't want to buy pants a size larger, this is just very minimal amount of increasing the tightness of your pants. So that's a big plus for the width of it. Another thing is the recoil for this size of a pistol is great. And by that I mean, you know, if you watch my other video on the Kel-Tec PF9, for example, the recoil on was just unpleasant. It wasn't uncontrollable. It wasn't like you pull the trigger and it goes flying out of your hand, but it just really, I hated shooting that thing after a while. It would just beat the crap out of my hand right here, and especially I've got kind of a bad thumb joint because I broke this back in high school. But it would just, right here, after so many mags, it would just, your hand would be sore the same day or the next day for sure. You would feel it. You know, you try and put 100 rounds through there and it's just not fun. This, I put 150 rounds through it in one setting, not a single hitch, no soreness whatsoever. I didn't get the shaky hand thing like I did because I was trying so hard to death grip the PF9, for example. It just, you know, it made it all, this one, rock solid. So, real nice, the recoil for it. Follow-up shots in this, especially when you go with the extended magazine that this comes with. This comes with 2 magazines. It comes with a flush fit and this extended one. When you get a full grip on there, and with that short trigger reset, double taps, bam, bam. Real easy, really quick follow-up shots. You don't have a lot of muzzle flip, and in fact, this has less muzzle flip, believe it or not, for some reason, than the SD9 that I carry also. So I don't know if my theory is just because this has more slide mass and the way the springs are set up is a little different because this has maybe a tighter spring. I don't know, but for some reason I can shoot that a lot quicker than I can the full size. I don't know why. The durability for it, because it has this increased mass, they built this a little more beefy, because some of these other ones like Kel-Tec, they take a design, they're going all out just for absolute thin, lightweight pistol, and they sacrifice some durability in the process of doing so. This thing, they kind of went the other way. They made it as small as possible, but they didn't give up anything in terms of durability between, say, like, you know, full size and this. They wanted to make it compact, but they wanted to be something that you can actually practice with frequently and not wear the thing out. This whole idea of carry often, shoot rarely is just not very practical for a lot of people, and I'm one of those. I'm really not keen on that. If I can't practice enough to get proficient with the gun that I'm carrying to defend my life with, I don't really feel confident that I'm going to be able to use it effectively when the time comes. Now, if I can practice with it enough, and my hand doesn't get sore, I don't develop a flinch, I don't get the shaky hand thing from death gripping it, and the gun isn't going to beat itself apart, that's a huge plus. This gun does all this. So, great durability and the recoil again, like I said. Another little small things, these single stack magazines, even though they're single stack, it looks kind of like almost double stack in a way because it's tapered, as you see through the top. Most single stacks you'll see like 1911s, they're just a straight wall like that. And the downside of that is when you try and go and slap one of these in, whether it's just a range or if you're, you know, frantically trying to poke this in here, you get hung up sometimes in the sides like this. With the tapered, it's got kind of a bevel here in the base, and then you have this, it just kind of guides itself in way easier, you know, like that. So it's kind of nice for a reload. That's a little small point there, but worth mentioning. 2 magazines included again, and this goes for, if you're buying it from a reasonable place, will go for less than $450, absolutely less than $500. Might sound like a lot for a compact single stack 9mm, but again, considering the quality of the material, the way it's built, the way it's designed, and the fact that you get 2 magazines, one of them is a 8-shot extended round, extended capacity magazine. The other one is a flush fit, which is a 7-round, as you see here, number 7. So what else is there about this? Well, there are a couple drawbacks to the thing. First of all, this little booger right here, manual safety. I'm not real keen on manual safeties in general on my carry pistols. The only reason I will consider a pistol with a manual safety is if I can disregard or remove the manual safety. Now in this case, I don't know of a way to remove this practically, and if there is, even if you do, you have this huge hole left, and to my knowledge, as of the publication of this video, nobody makes a plug to fill this hole. You can make your own maybe, but it just looks kind of ghetto. So the other thing is this manual safety. If you're going to have one on a pistol, at least make it easy to use. They got it right with this. This is again the M&P compact here. Big 1911 style, ambidextrous at that. And it's got these big just paddle looking things. You can just, it's very easy to sweep up or down. This guy, not only is it's practically flush with the frame, but it's pretty stiff. And of course, you know, if you use it enough, it'll probably break in, but I can just totally see if you carry this thing with the safety on, you can miss your thumb and see, it's like that, it's that Ruger SR9 kind of syndrome with the tic-tac sized safety lever. It's just kind of ridiculously small and too flat to be any good. The other thing is, it's completely redundant and pointless. I mean, I know that they did it just so it could be compliant with certain states that require manual safeties and such, but you're dealing with basically the same trigger pull as the, you know, regular M&Ps. And this one here, this has the newer style trigger, again, unloaded and all. But this has the newer style trigger, but you got pretty close to the same weight and length of pull, and this is perfectly safe to carry without a manual safety on it. They only put this on as kind of an option, and removing this, at least, is just a matter of knocking out the pin, pulling out the trigger group, and it just falls out. Just stick it back together, put your pin back in, you're done. Not so on this guy. Again, you can't just pull it out and make it easy, you know, but at least I can just turn it off like so, and I never use the thing, and it's perfectly safe to carry. This right here is your safety, guys. Keep your booger finger off of the trigger, okay? It's not that hard to do. As long as you use this in a safely made holster and you keep your finger off the freaking trigger, you're not going to have any problems with this, okay? So this, don't need it. Stupid, but that's just one of my things. Another thing other people really care for, and I've actually heard this at gun stores, and sometimes, I don't know, it seems kind of ridiculous, but too thin. Well, maybe with some other guns, you know, we're talking like 380s, those little LCPs and such. Not so much on this, but some people, I'm just mentioning this because this is a gripe others have had, is it's too thin for some hands. They would actually rather have something this thick to get a hold of because it just fits their hand better, fills the hand. But me, I don't know. As far as pistols, this is probably about as thin as I would really want to go. It's pretty close in dimensions and the thickness and everything to, say, a Taurus PT709 Slim, which is actually just a hair thinner than this around the grip here, but otherwise it's pretty darn close to the same. But some people just really don't like that. It just doesn't fit their hand. Either when they grip it, their fingers will go in too far this way, and so they have to pull their finger back, like if you got big hands. Or if you're a small-handed person, you know, that might be fine, but it just depends on your hand size. So it's a very personal preference thing, and there's no interchangeable back straps on this like there are on the full size. Again, the 9 compact here, you just pull off the little base plate, and there it is. Flips out. They've got 3 sizes that comes with it. Not with the shield, not adjustable. What you see is what you get, fixed, bolted in one piece. That's it. So if that's an issue for you, something to consider. And as I mentioned again, this is just too big and too heavy for me for a pocket carry. And I'm not a big fan of pocket carry in general. If I do, it's just as a backup, but otherwise it's just not really practical for me. You might have a different circumstance. You might have bigger pockets than I do. I don't know what kind of clothes you guys wear, but maybe your body type's different. I don't know, but again, just too big, too heavy for a pocket carry for me. But as far as inside the waistband, outside the waistband, all good. So there you have it. The Smith & Wesson Shield M&P 9mm, yada yada yada. For what it's worth, that is my 2 cents on that. Thanks for watching.